Hey everyone, welcome back to Cars and Kelley. Today I'm going to be talking about wheels and tires, specifically my decision recently to upgrade my wheels and tires to a higher performance setup. I actually already have a video about general information about wheel and tire sizing, so I'll link that in the description below. But this video is mainly to just discuss why I chose to upgrade my setup and what reasons I did that and the performance I've gained since. The Miata is a small car, so naturally all wheels you end up choosing are going to be small, namely 15 inches in diameter is the most typical size. People sometimes go up to 16 or 17, but you don't see that as much just because the smaller wheel size helps keep that nimble, the nimble characteristics that the Miata is known for. However, the dimensions that I did want to upgrade was I wanted to go for a slightly wider wheel that would allow you to run a slightly wider tire. Now before this I had a set of, I'm not sure actually what the brand was, some aftermarket wheels that were 15 by 6.5 inches wide. And I had a set of 195 50-15 tires on there. They were just all-season tires, and actually that setup was pretty good for everyday use. It was grippy, as most setups are going to be on this car. They handled very well, and you didn't really reach the limit of the grip very often. However, as I kept driving and just wanted to, squeeze more and more performance out of this car, wheels and tires, or mostly tires, is definitely a step that people often take to enhance the performance of their car. So I wanted to go for a more aggressive, wider setup. So I went up to some 15 by 8 wheels instead of 6.5. So that's an 1.5 inch difference, as well as lower offset. I'm not sure what the offset of my old wheels were, just because I bought the car with those wheels on it, and I'm really unsure about some of the specifications of them. But these are plus 25. So a typical wheel is going to be around plus 30, 35, 38 even. And so 25 means it's further out from the center of the car, gives it a wider stance, not the actual width of the wheel itself, but how far it is set from the body of the car. Anyway, that wider wheel has let me to get to a 205 50-15 setup for tires instead of 195. Not a huge difference, but the other consideration to make or to think about is these are actually different compounds of tires as my old ones. Instead of just being regular all-season tires, which like I said were already pretty grippy, these are high-performance summer tires. They are definitely not the grippiest tires you can get. Let me make that clear right away. These are not, Dunlop Star Specs or the RS3 or Slicks or anything nearly that extreme in terms of grip, because this is my everyday car. I wanted to maintain some tread life and some durability of these tires because I didn't want to replace them, just very often, because tires, they are cheap for this car relative to bigger cars, but they're still, they're still not cheap if you go through tires. So, like I said, these are they're Yokohama S.Drive 205 50-15s is the setup I chose, and they're treadwear 300, so that's actually less than I had before. I think the ones I had before were 400, and considerably more than track day tires, that are like 150 to 200 treadwear. Less tread on them, definitely less tread life, so this was a nice balance that I wanted to strike. So if you look here from the side, you can see, you should be able to see maybe how wide these wheels stick out from the car, and they look a lot more flush, and they look a lot more performance-oriented than the stock wheels, which is one of the reasons I got this lower offset setup. So as far as getting a setup like this, or exactly like this, or similar to this on your Miata, it's not too hard. 15 by 8 is a pretty standard size for upgrading, and 205 50-15 is again a common size to fit with a 15 by 8. But because it's such a low offset wheel, 25, I did have to do slight fender roll on my car, right here and in the back as well. Now I'm not actually sure how much was necessary, because I'm on stock suspension, it's not lowered at all. And so I haven't run into any rubbing issues, and I might not have even without rolling, but I just wanted to do a slight fender roll just in case, because I know that was recommended for wheels with this offset and this setup. So I bought a fender roller tool and a heat gun. I did some slight rolling. It's very slight, it's kind of hard to tell that it's even there, but just to make sure I didn't run into any clearance issues with the necessity to roll the fenders to fit wider wheels is definitely a turnoff for some people, and you might want to get a higher offset wheel, like a plus 38, and then you definitely don't need to do that if you just want to be able to get new wheels and tires and pop them right on your car without any body modification at all. You might not want to look at such a low offset wheel. And I realized I actually haven't even said what these wheels are yet. So these are Konig Wideopen wheels, and they're the 15 by 8 model plus 25, like I keep saying, in the full silver. And they have a couple other color options, most of which I don't like. They have a polished lip look, which this whole outside big, thick, deep dish look, which I really do like. That is like a chrome, and I don't like that one. They had a black one, maybe even a bronze or a gold wheel. But I really like this setup. It was similar to the NK RPF1 wheels, which I really liked too, and I looked at, but they're substantially more expensive. These were just around $100 per wheel, and those are over $200 per wheel. They're also a higher offset, so it won't give as much of an aggressive looking stance. Still great wheels, but more expensive, and this just kind of fit my needs better. So, impressions so far. It's commonly known in the Miata community that a nice set of wheels and wide grippy tires is one of the best upgrades you can give your Miata in terms of performance, and I have to agree. You know, these tires definitely make this car corner a lot better. It grips harder, and you just feel more confident throughout the turn. It's not night and day difference, because the tires I had before were not bad. You know, they were regular tires, but they did grip pretty well. And I'm still on stock suspension setup, so you know, there's a lot more handling potential to be gotten out of this car. But even with that said, these tires are definitely an improvement, and you notice it when you're on the limit of grip. They have that little bit more that gets you through the corner very confidently. If this is maybe your second car or your track car, I recommend getting an even more aggressive tire, maybe like a Dureza Star Spec or something with a 200 treadwear rating. You don't really have to worry about tire life that much. If you don't care about things like that, then you could definitely get a more aggressive tire and notice even more of a difference in handling. But overall, you know, I'm really happy with this setup. With the color and the top of my car, I had a pretty specific layout that I knew I wanted. I knew I wanted a silver wheel. I didn't think any other color would really work that well with the design of this car color specifically. So I knew I wanted silver, and I really liked that NK RPF1 style wheel. So when I found these that were, you know, the right dimension and a good price, I liked those a lot, and so I paired them with some of these Yokohama S.Drive tires, and it's been great so far. I wanted something like the NK RPF1, but I was looking for something either a little wider or with a little lower offset, and definitely mostly that was cheaper than the NK RPF1. So really glad I stumbled upon this wheel, and it worked really well with this size 205 50/15 of the Yokohama S.Drive. You could even fit a wider tire on this wheel if you really wanted to. You could get a 225/45 even. The thing with that is they only make very high performance tires in that size, which is why I didn't get that size. But you know, you could definitely, there are some possibilities fitting some more aggressive tires on this wheel as well. Setup has been pretty livable so far every day. These wheels look great. They do get kind of dirty pretty often, but you know, that's due to my brake pads and the fact that they're kind of high performance and they dust pretty often. That's, you know, not at all due to the wheels. So as long as you keep up with cleaning them, that should be totally fine. And as far as tires go, you know, I can't speak about the long-term life of them so far, just because I've only had them for a little while. But with my experience as of now, they seem to strike a very nice balance between performance and durability. So in summary, bringing it back to Miata wheels and tires overall, I think if you're looking for an upgrade in terms of grip and handling characteristics, wheels and tires is definitely a good way to go. Not the cheapest upgrade for sure. You know, the combination of the wheels and the tires and everything you need for it is about $1,000, which relative to other cars is quite cheap, but I mean, still, just in terms of dollars, it's not cheap. But still, you know, you're getting a lot of extra performance and looks out of your car, and I think 15/8 is a really great size to go with, you know, unless you're really tracking the car hard and you need an even wider wheel, or you don't care about performance, in which case you could get a narrower wheel. I think 15/8 is a really great size to get and gives you some flexibility in terms of what kind of tire size you can fit. And so overall, I really recommend this setup or anything similar to this setup for any Miata owners. In the future, I'm going to hopefully get some coilovers and a different suspension setup, and we'll see how I'll have to modify the body to fit it then, but at least so far it's been working out really well. And as always, it's been Cars and Kelley. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.